Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL. This week it's going to be game week 16. Let's just double check. Game week 16 this weekend. And there's a lot to talk about last week's. Obviously, last week we had 2 game weeks. There were some games on Tuesday to Thursday, and then obviously the games on the weekend. So there was 2 chances for us to go top of the league last weekend. The first half of the game week, so game week 14, we closed the gap to Tyler, and then on the weekend, it was a very, very close one. However, I did get scammed by FPL because of the Liverpool game getting postponed. I lost out on Mo Salah as my captain. I lost out on Virgil van Dijk in goal, in the centre back options, and obviously Pickford didn't play either. So that's 3 players that didn't get points because of the game getting postponed. It was a bit of an annoying week for me. It wasn't a great week, and you'll see why. But if we look at the team of the week, Martinez in goal, 6 points. Saliba, 9. Konza, 8. Lamptey, 8. Palmer, 18. Gibbs White, 13. And Bemo, who we got rid of, went on to get 13 points. So that transfer on Bemo to Matoma didn't work out last week. Obviously, we brought Matoma in for the upcoming fixtures of Brighton. But if he doesn't perform this week, then I might just jump back to Mbemo because I know how good he is. And obviously, Brentford are good at home. And even though they've got tough fixtures, I think he can still contribute to a team that's very attacking. Then you got Odango, 12 points. Bowen, 12 points. Vardy, 12 points. And Raul Jimenez, 8 points. That was the team of the week coming into the most ins and outs. Saliba in, Isaac in, Enzo in, Palmer in. We might look at Enzo actually, see how much he is. Mo Salah, and then obviously the options out of being Watkins, Haaland, Gabriel, who's injured. So we made that swap from Gabriel to Saliba last week. Welbeck in and out, and Smith Rowe out. So looking at the points this week, it was 54. So it was above average. But like I said, we kind of got scammed out with the 3 players not being played. Obviously, our captain not being played either. So obviously, it meant Jose Sarr came in, didn't even play in the game that I thought that he was going to be in, which didn't help. So obviously that Van Dijk not playing meant Face comes in with just the 1 point. Konza and Saliba obviously cooked with their respective games, for obviously him scoring, and then obviously Konza with that clean sheet for the first time in about, when was the last time he actually had a decent game? 8 points against Wolves. So we're literally talking about 10 weeks ago. So he finally got some returns, which is nice. Obviously, he's cheap options, so obviously it doesn't matter. But yeah, he stepped up very nicely. The midfield, again, so Palmer obviously cooked. And I probably should have captained him, or at least vice-captained him. Because obviously Salah didn't play, which means the vice becomes the captain. So that would have easily took our points ahead. But Smith Rowe 1 point, Saka obviously only 2, but was vice, meaning he stepped up because Salah didn't play. Captained 4 points, Matoma 2, He played but didn't do anything in a 2-2 draw. You mean he could have assisted, he couldn't have scored. And same again, Pedro didn't do anything in that 2-2 draw. Wazza cooked in that Brentford game 4-2. Obviously, he scored, and then obviously Matoma scored and got the assist, which would have gave him 13 points. And obviously Jackson, again, didn't do anything in that 4-2 game, where there were so many goals, he didn't score or get assist. And then obviously Robertson on the bench, just with a 1 point. So let's look at the highest points. So Martinez in goal, Saliba, Collins 7 points. So obviously, I'm assuming, yeah. So a lot of people had Mo Salah in as captain. Obviously, this guy had vice captain Cole Palmer, which obviously we should have done. Enzo obviously, Gibbs White, Vardy and Haaland, which is obviously good. So coming into the leagues, as you can see, there's a couple of down arrows because obviously not great. However, we've gone and done it. We're top of the league in the mini league, and it's very close by 1 point. I'm ahead of Tyler. I said it in game week 13 we had 2 game weeks. I was going to be top by Sunday, and we did it. 1 point. Obviously, like I said, we kind of got scammed out of points because of the Salah not playing, the Virgil van Dijk not playing, and Pickford not playing. But we still went ahead of him. He had everyone playing in his squad apart from Salah. Every one of his players played, but we got scammed with three players not playing, and we still went ahead of him. Obviously, we're not going to get into conclusions. It is just 1 point. But to go top, that's great. Hopefully, this week we can push on. As for the McDonald's, yeah, we're still getting cooked by lads on tour. Again, we're 1 point above third. So yeah, we're doing good. Second and first in the 2 respective leagues, and hopefully we can try and hopefully close the gap. I think this one is probably too much. As for the mini league, I definitely think we can maybe charge ahead now. We've had a couple of really good weeks. The players are good, and obviously the points do come. But let's look at this. So obviously we look at Luke, who had the most points, 77. Raya in goal, Saliba, Bowen, Palmer, Wood, Solanke, Haaland. Not bad. Who else had a good week? I think Matt had a good one. Matt had one, which is obviously very closing the gap behind us. His defence is probably where he leaks goals and points, and obviously his goalkeeper's not great either. Does he have any money in the bank? I won't be able to see how much money he's got in the bank. But so he stick with Mbemo, which was a smart move, which was what we should have done. Palmer, Vice, which was he was smart. Obviously having Salah, traditional as captain, Delip, Jackson, and Watkins. So most of his points came from Palmer. And on Bemo, so I think we still got enough to stay ahead of him. Coming into this week again, transfer wise, I think I've actually might change Matoma. And I'm looking at, if I can select replacement. I'm looking at someone like Gibbs White. I don't how much 7.3. 7.8. So obviously I'm tempted just to go back to Mbemo, and just because they do have Forest at home, which they should get goal. The problem is their attacker. So even though it's a hard fixture, that it's not going to really affect them defensively. Do I think he can get a goal against Chelsea? Yes. Do I think he can get a goal against Forest? Of course, at home, yes. Brighton away, yes. Maybe not Arsenal, but then again, he's got Southampton, yes. But then it's the 2 games of Man City and Liverpool. But I want to look at someone like, how much is Enzo? Oh, that might be a smart move. How much is Enzo? I think we might have found a good replacement. Enzo. What's Gibbs White saying? Nah, Enzo. We're going Enzo. We're gonna jump on the Chelsea hype train. Add him in. I think that's the smart move because he's been playing. He's got good returns in the last 4 fixtures. Chelsea's fixtures, look at that, perfect. I didn't know why I didn't think of him before last week because that would have definitely hooked. So what we could do is realistically keep Enzo to game week 23 and 20. Where's 23? Yes. So we keep Enzo to 23, and then we could go on Bemo on game week 24. I think that's the plan, lads. Let's make that transfer. Transfer, yes. Enzo in, Matoma out because I don't think he's going to do much. Again, we're obviously relying a lot on Chelsea to do well, but with those good fixtures, they should do well. My other problem is potentially Jose Sarr. Obviously, he's not done well in a couple of game weeks. He didn't even play the West Ham game. He did play the Everton and the Bournemouth game, but didn't play the West Ham game. And Arsenal do have Pickford. So is there a way to maybe... is there any goalkeeper we could afford? Galahad. See, I might go. So my thinking is if we go Galahad, player 2.5. Obviously, when we go back to Mbemo, we won't have enough. But then obviously we can probably downgrade Pickford some point. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Restore player. No, press wrong. Restore player. So yeah, let's go and make that change. It does mean we're gonna have to make 4 points, but I definitely think that Callahan is more of a better keeper than obviously Jose Sarr, and he's going to be more reliable. As we know, Alisson is still out injured. Obviously, the manager mystery chip has been announced. It is a system manager. Add a manager to your team to score points for 3 consecutive weeks. So you're going to pick a real-life Premier League manager. The system manager can be used once a season, and your initial manager selection will not cost a transfer. Any further manager transfers will either cost a free transfer or minus 4 points if you don't have a free transfer available. The chip can't be cancelled once you've activated it and confirmed a manager transfer available from gate 24. So what's going to happen is we go stats. I think there was something to do with, I can find it, more, no, okay, I can't find of it, but there was something this week telling us about the mystery chip. So basically all you have to do is pick a manager. It will cost between 0.5 million and 1.5. So obviously people like Slots, Pep will be 1.5 million. And then if they get a win, they get 6 points. If they draw, they get 3 points. If they score a goal, they get 1 point. So if you go and win 4-0, they say, you get 6 points plus 4 points, 1 point per a goal. So you get 10 points added onto your team. So it's going to be very good. However, obviously, that 1.5 million comes out of your total budget. So you might have to sell some players to afford the manager chip. Coming into this week, I think this is how we're probably going to set up. Callahan in goal. Konza, Saliba, Van Dijk. Mo Salah, Saka, Palmer, Enzo, Jackson, Pedro, Waza. Do I think? I don't think he's gonna do it. I don't think he'll do anything against Liverpool. So, captain wise, table. Brentford 19th, Fulham 10th. Okay. I think it's just best to keep Salah captain. We're going to move the vice captain to Palmer. Actually, wait. Are Liverpool at home? They are home. And Chelsea, they're home, correct? Yeah, okay. I'm going to stick with Salah as captain. And this is going to be the team that we're sending out to hopefully take the leagues ahead of Tyler and the rest of the pack, and hopefully close down the guy in first in the overall McDonald's FPL. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I want to say please do subscribe, guys. I am so close to 300 subs. I believe I'm on 295. So we're 5 away. I would really appreciate if we do hit that before Christmas. But thank you for watching. Goodbye.